All right, we are here with Jesse, who is studying UI design at our Austin campus, and actually Quincy is joining us in the background. Say hey, Quincy.
Hey, what's going on?
um, so Jesse, thanks for chatting today.
No problem.
So tell us what you were doing before the Iron Yard. What was your career before you decided to change it?
I've been working in sound engineering for the past like eight years or so. Live sound, studio work,
Wow,
that sort of thing.
very cool. Had you always had an interest in music, and it's just something you wanted to be around? And
Oh yeah. If it weren't for the music, I wouldn't have gotten into it. I've been playing, since I was a little kid, 12 years old.
Sure.
So.
Very cool. I've always, the idea of being in a recording studio, with the vibe and everything has always kind of appealed to me. I know it's probably more stressful than that when you're actually trying to make a recording, but
It can be.
yeah. So, audio engineering is pretty technical.
Mm-hmm.
Did that help lead you into discovering that you wanted to write code?
Definitely, exactly. I would have probably not. I don't think I'd be here if it weren't for having grown accustomed to using software and
Sure.
relying on it, and that being a part of like my workflow every day.
Yeah.
And then realizing that like a program can become your best friend.
Yeah.
After a while, at first it's like the worst thing that ever happened
Right.
to you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Steep learning curve on some of those?
yeah, definitely. Especially when you're like not really wanting to like learn how to use the program at
Yeah.
first. You just wanted to do basic things, and
Right.
then over time, you start to realize the power of it.
Sure.
Oh wow! So I'm gonna watch a tutorial now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
And start to learn it.
1,500 tutorials later.
Yeah. So how did you transition from using, software for audio engineering? Did you start tinkering with code? Is it something you did on the side?
Well, I just was kind of looking to expand my skill set, because with audio, it's kind of one of those fields where it's really difficult to end up at the top,
Yeah.
and so it's real easy to find work and everything, but it's like really hard to find like really great, like high paying work.
Sure.
So like
There's lots of work.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's fine, but I just want to be able to grow.
Yeah.
That's all. So got a long ways to go in life, so I figured
Yeah.
might as well learn something else.
Yeah.
It seemed like a good idea,
So how'd you decide on code, or was it just something where you're like, this is a transferable skill? And
I just kind of, messed around with the hello world thing,
Yeah.
just like creating, like just being able to type into the browser and see that happen or whatever. And that was just kind of like my first tinkerings,
Yeah.
And it was really just kind of like just a faint, just random occurrence of my imagination for
Yeah.
me to think, oh, maybe one day I'll mess around with code.
Yeah.
But that was like maybe 2 or 3 years before I ended up deciding to take a course.
Interesting. Okay. So you were kind of interested in it. So then how'd you decide? What was the thing that made you decide, I'm actually going to take a course and go for this?
Well, just got older, and have a child.
Yeah. I do too.
So it's like, might as well learn something that's gonna, be a little bit more fruitful, I think, because
Sure.
it's kind of frustrating with audio. Like you really, it's very technical. It's a science. It's all sort of things, So you really have to learn a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like since it's such a saturated market, especially here in Austin,
Right.
it's like you're not really getting what you're worth, So I figured if I'm going to learn something that's really complicated and like, takes a while to get good at,
Yeah.
I figured once I come out on the other end of that, like I think I would probably end up getting paid what it's worth to be able
Sure.
to have gone through like learning all of that.
Yeah.
Stuff,
So did you try online? And I know you mentioned you'd been through a part-time course in person. What were the steps you took before you came to the Iron Yard?
I did a little bit of Code Academy,
Mm-hmm.
and at first I thought to myself, maybe I'll want to be a programmer, because I didn't really know anything about code. So the first thing you think to yourself, if you're an outsider, is like, oh, I want to be a programmer,
Right.
And so I started on like a 3-course track at the ACA.
Okay.
And the first course is basically just an intro to front end.
Yep.
And it was concentrating on HTML and CSS and responsive design and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. And basically going through that 10-week course, which was just 2 days a week for 10 weeks, it's not an immersive program.
Right.
Kind of realized, hey, this is like pretty hefty, and I probably don't want to get into programming, but I really like coding, and I think I'm more into the way that things look and lay out, and the user side of. I just kind of realized that I'm more of a visual person, and being coming from an artistic background, I realized like I don't want to just program.
Right.
I at least figured that out going to that course. It was tough because going into it, I didn't have any real experience, just a little bit on Codecademy. And I kind of realized about halfway through it that I needed to be in an immersive program because like even just the day between, because it was a Tuesday, Thursday, and just the one day between Tuesday and Thursday was like bad enough of like, not being able to get help or just not fully understanding the assignment, and you're not in a class, you're not around other people to where you can kind of bounce things off one another. And then I'm going in the next day, and it's like I've forgotten some stuff, and all that. And then there's the 4 days between Thursday and Tuesday again. Right. So it's like, oh my God. Yeah. So I just kind of, I learned a lot. Like I got my basics going, I would say like out of the whole course, I probably actually learned like 40% of what they were trying to teach me. Yeah. But it was a strong 40%, So I came in here with a little bit of knowledge of at least the basic workings of like responsive design.
Yeah. How did you, so after that experience, you decided, okay, I need an immersive program that's just going to allow me to dive in and work on this every day. Did you look at other schools, or how did you decide to come to the Iron Yard specifically?
I actually I'm not really sure. I think it was online. I just was looking around Austin for other schools, and then I came to one of the open houses. Okay. And I just kind of really liked the vibe, and I think you were actually still the UI design teacher at the time. Whenever I came like a year ago, I remember you were one of the teachers at the time. I'm sorry. That's Sam. Off camera. Just threw you into my
That was great.
Meeting.
That was great. Spontaneous. Spontaneous.
So it just seemed like a really good environment, and I could tell that like this would be like somewhere that I could get my hands dirty. Like, really get the extra attention. That I needed,
And has that happened? Have you seen that play out in the classroom experience?
Totally. It's been very like rewarding and just
hard.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm definitely like having a hard time for sure. It's not easy at all. Yeah. Like you expect it to be heavy. Yep. Like a normal amount of heavy, but it's like an abnormal amount of heavy. Not really sleeping. Yeah, we hear that. But it'll work itself out. Yeah.
Do you feel like even though it's an abnormal amount of heavy, that your instructor and everyone are giving you the support, is the environment conducive to dealing with that?
Definitely. I feel like I definitely can get the attention and help that I need, even if it's just from another student, who happens to just maybe grasp a concept quicker, and that's pretty much everyone else. For sure.
I think you're being too hard.
No, I'm not. Like, I've definitely I kind of go through things kicking and screaming. That's just like my learning pattern. I don't know why, but it's only after a long time of messing with things and completely screwing it up that I'll actually really have a good
things kind of click.
That's just how I learn. I don't know why.
Do you feel like you've made progress so far, thinking about where you started out coming in, and you're, halfway through now?
Definitely.
Very cool.
I'm very happy with it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time to chat today.